How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. In this video we have myself playing MagnaGarurumon going up against Imperial. I recently played Magna in my PVG locals. I feel like the deck is still really strong and could do well in the BT8 meta. So I definitely wanted to see how that went, and I'm pretty happy with the results, especially going up against top decks of the format such as Imperialdramon. We have a pretty solid start, going Judge Koella into Davis for the memory choke. Now EXBmon is very strong opener, it's exactly what you want to see as the Imperial player. She has the Jogress, gonna go into the Imperialdramon, swinging twice with jamming. So this is, classic Imperial, right? 3 swings, they all have jamming. There's essentially almost no risk whatsoever. And then plays her own Davis to memory choke, and because, of the green cards, Davis can actually add 2. So it's actually an insanely strong opener, right? I do have memory to work with, plus dual tamers and a body on the board. We need to get the Imperial off the board. The best way for Magna to do so is to bounce it with Magna himself, right? So we're probably gonna look to do that. Gonna Digivolve into the MagnaGarurumon. Because of the Koji, we get jamming. Then we get the Beowulf, get the memory back. And we can now go into a Magna, bounce the Imperialdramon, and be at 3 memory. So you can see we actually do have a great response to it, right? Able to answer, push some damage, and end with a pretty strong board. She has another EXBmon, again very annoying. Ain't gonna just be hard dropping a Bmon. At this point we took so much damage last turn, and she has her setup and memory next turn. So I essentially have to go for game this turn. Magna swings, we hit into a Paladin mode, which is really unfortunate. But I think, it is correct, like, I'm definitely going to die next turn, right? And the Koellamon, as cool as he is never going to save me. So this turn we had to go for game. If the Magna had survived, we could then, restand, use the Davis and the other stack to win the game, which would have been nice. Not the case though. We Digivolve into a Kendo, we get the jamming, get the memory right back. At this point, there's really not much we can do. Beowulf to bounce the body. She has memory for days. There's no way to memory choke. Best I can do is answer and then hope that we can go for game next turn. But realistically, there's nothing that's going to save me, and we are going to lose the game here. So a pretty quick game, but I guess that's what you would expect from like a Magna deck against Imperial, 2 very fast blue decks. She had a really strong opener, always having the EXBmon, and the Imperialdramon, and the Bmon, the Stingmon, pretty much everything, right? So that is game 1. For game 2 here, we're probably going to be going off second. But again, I do like the matchup, I think it's fine. Magna I think is okay against most of the BT8 decks, and I definitely still consider it a strong deck for the format, something that I definitely want to play more of, because I really enjoy MagnaGarurumon. He is very special to me. He'll always hold a special place in my heart. We're going to Korikaku, who is not a bear. To memory choker to 1. Once again, she does have the EXBmon opener, which is again incredibly powerful. I think whether the Imperial player opens EXB or not is a huge difference. Not gonna swing because it would just die, and I guess she doesn't have to follow up. Instead, opting to play a Madoka Betamon. It's really interesting to see people use Madoka Betamon because he kind of just dies for free. It's also not a Bmon, which hurts in like Lightdramon and things like that, but I guess the Imperial deck is flexible and it has room. We're going to actually just Digivolve into the event pack Beowulf, get some nice swings with the jamming, can't be swung over, can't be bounced by the Imperialdramon, and memory chokes her to 1, so it definitely seems like a solid play. With this, Jogress is unlikely. She's gonna go into a Stingmon in the back and set up for Jogress for the next turn, so still pretty solid play. We get to swing, get some card draw off the Upamon, and I guess at this point the Madoka Betamon is kind of annoying. If we go into a Magna, we could bounce either of the Digimon, but I think bouncing the EXBmon is a bit better. It's gonna force her to spend some more memory on it, and then potentially get rid of the Madoki as she'll be forced to Digivolve on top of it, which is probably what she's gonna do here. Okay, could definitely swing with the jamming and then go into the Imperialdramon after. Hammer Spark or Ice Wall would be insane in security for sure though, but I think as the Imperial deck you have to just swing. Does hit into a Hammer Spark, which is definitely gonna absolutely swing the game. I play my own Spark to make sure that we don't I guess get Hammer Spark right back in security. Now we can very easily swing over the EXBmon. Don't have the balance for this Digimon, but it's honestly not too bad. Get the restand, Strawberry to Memory Choke to 1. We still have another restand from the Magna next turn. Feels pretty good. So Hammer Spark was definitely good in security. We did a good job of like Memory Choke and playing around the Imperialdramon. Even if she has a Imperialdramon that turn, it's not like it was going to win her the game. It didn't have anything to bounce, and then we definitely could have dealt with it through the Magna, right? At this point, like the Stingmon is just not really doing anything right. She doesn't have enough memory to set up, no tamers or anything like that. And you can see how the Magna deck can match the aggression, as we have so many swings. Funny enough, we actually haven't played a tamer ourselves, right? Although Magna could definitely, usually someone from the Koji, right? But we could definitely just go up the chain. I actually love doing that. It works out quite well. Just thinking, seeing if there's anything she could do to survive or win the game. But from this point, I think she's just a little bit too far behind. Maybe just has to rely on security, that she has a Hammer Spark in there or something. So I'm gonna Ice Wall first, because in case that we hit into a Hammer Spark, she would then be under Ice Wall, and we would feel pretty safe. We hit into a Davis, nothing else though, and then Stravi's gonna swing for game. So now we're going into game 3. It's a pretty fast set, again, as you would expect from two pretty powerful blue decks. And I will say, if you guys did not try the Magna last meta, definitely try it out in BT8. I think that the regular blue hybrid, it's not as good these days. You can freeze Digimon, but then that doesn't really matter when, you know, Jogris kind of negates all that, right? But the Magna deck doesn't rely on freezing. We instead just go super aggressive, and we have bounces which are still very powerful, I would say. We've played the new Bokomon, looks super sweet. If you guys haven't seen the new Boko, pretty cool Digimon. Hit into a Hammer Spark, which is, I guess, unfortunate, but not the worst. Once again, she does open EX Beamon. I think that's every single game she's opened the EX Beamon. Hits into an Ice Wall, which is pretty good for us, obviously. We swung into a Hammer Spark, she swings into an Ice Wall. I'm okay with this. Actually puts her in a very awkward situation though, because now she can't play the Stingmon and do a Jogger's play. The EX Beamon is suspended, meaning that we can definitely deal with it next turn. She could hard play either a Rookie or like a Stingmon, but I'm sure that we could deal with both of them, especially having the Boko. Because of that, she's actually going to just go into the Dino Beamon to use the dual tamer to restand, which feels like the best play for sure. Anything else would just be answered way too easily by the Magna deck, right? Gonna play another Bokomon. 2 Bokos on the board always feels good. We can pick up a Stravi and a Koji. Still love Koji. Tommy's a nerd, Koji's cool. Some things never change. We're forced to Digivolve over the Davis. Honestly, it is fine though. Get 2 memory back. At this point, we're gonna go into a Beowulf, and I could swing at security, but if there was a Hammer Spark, it would actually cost me the game. So I play super safe. We just go straight into a Magna, return the Beowulf to return the Dino B. I like this play because it's very safe. Now she has to rebuild from scratch, and we have so many Digimon on the board. She's actually forced to Megadeth the Magna, which is honestly fine because like she's spending her turn answering one of my Digimon. We have 4 Digis on the board, and she wasn't able to set up for anything, right? Now we can start swinging. We hit into another Spark. Kind of annoying, but such is life. Honestly, it doesn't change too much. We still have the pressure. She still is so far away from setting up. Dual Tamer, you know, is doing some work, but not enough. Lightdramon can then suspend one of the Digimon. Gonna be swinging at either the Boko or the Kumamon. You have to swing at the Kumamon, which is actually a mistake because we have the Koji and Herable. Or the Strabi lets me play the Koji. That's definitely a mistake for sure. But honestly, even if she swings over the Boko, I think we're still in a great spot to win this game. At this point, she only has 1 memory to work with. We still have 3 digits on the board. Double Boko means we're gonna get so much memory. Plays the Stingmon just to pass. We know we have the Magna. We actually gain 2 memory Digivolve over the Koji. We get the jam in. Beowulf can now swing. We could try and clear the board, but it can also just be swinging. Yeah, gonna bounce, hit into a Davis. Her security pretty absurd, right? Double Hammer Spark and a Davis. But it doesn't matter because at this point the Bokus can just swing, and that's gonna be game. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching.